Hey, what's up you guys, it's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to go into chapter 22 of the game by Lindsay Miller, so I hope that you guys are ready for this video. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, I suggest you click off of the video now. You have been warned. Chapter 22. Leah delivered Devin a few tater tots, then left, removing the rug from the door and rejoining Jim in the car. Leah let Devin know that Jim was out. Bold of them to do it so close to school, Devin texted as Jim drove Leah home. "Get home safe, you too," Leah said. It was a good excuse to get together while it lasted, at least. "We don't need an excuse to get together." Leah grinned and tucked her phone away. "It wasn't Nelson the other day, you know. Nelson was a stout kid with lanky brown hair and a love of neon hoodies. His family had lived and died in Lincoln for over a century. The tradition must have run too deep in his family for him to quit, even with the band. Yeah, our park stalker was too tall," Jim said. Leah turned her phone over and over in her hands. "I wonder how many people withdrew." There was no way to know how many people were still playing, but Leah was convinced there was definitely more than Devin, Leah, and Nelson still in the game. If Nelson was willing to get Jim so close to school, maybe her assassin Aubrey, Bryce, Cassidy, Devin, Hunter, Jeremiah, Mercedes, Nikki, Noah, Oliver, Rose, Steven, Tamora, Zach, or someone else hadn't considered was too. "Can you drop me off at the corner?" Leah asked as they turned onto her street. "I want to walk around the block." Jim stared at her. "Alone?" "Hardly." Leah gestured to the handful of people getting home, checking the mail, and walking after work. "I have an hour and a half before sunset, and I'll be 3 blocks away. I just want to see how closely my assassin is watching me." Jim stopped the car a driveway over from Leah's house. From there, Leah could see her father through the kitchen window making coffee. He was already in his after-work clothes, a sweatshirt from Mark's college, and cheap joggers. He used to make coffee for Mark when he left early on weekends to play Assassins. He had listened to Mark's strategies. It wasn't the same, of course. Mark was a good student, and playing had been a reward. Even before Abby, her father, hadn't been thrilled about her playing. "Is he being weird?" Jim asked, following her line of sight. "I swear, we had 2 friends die and he's bugging you about your grades." "I will. He's being okay," Leah said. "I would rather deal with my assassin over him right now." He wasn't being anything. It was like he was trying to pretend it wasn't happening, like Leah was too much of a bother. "Do you have a plan?" Jim pulled out and drove past Leah's house, 3 blocks away at the entrance to their neighborhood. Jim pulled over again. "I could stay." "No. Go change clothes," Leah said. "I'll just walk slow enough for him to be out of the kitchen and figure out if my assassin is hanging around. Be careful." Jim unlocked the car door. "And text me when you get home." Jim lingered at the stoplight for a moment after they drove off. Leah waved to them, her phone in hand just in case. Her water gun was hidden in the front pocket of her coat, and she searched the yards and streets around her. No shadowy figures lurked behind trash cans or cars. Only a few squirrels paid attention to her. So Leah walked, one hand holding her phone as if she were busy, but her eyes darting left and right with each step. A few neighbors waved, several dogs barked, but no one approached. "So much for assassins," she whispered, texting Jim as she paused at the corner before her house. "I'm fine, don't worry, no shadowy stalker." Leah turned to head home. At the far end of her street, in the dark foliage of a privacy hedge, 2 spots like binocular lenses glinted. Leah swallowed and carried on, walking straight past her street. She pulled her hood up and around the back of her neck, but not high enough to block the edges of her sight. If they followed, she would need a new plan. At the next corner, she paused and twisted around, pretending to crack her back. No one followed. Leah continued down the street, and at the next corner where the street ended, a lone figure stood 1 block away to her left. A hood covered their face, and the evening light made them nothing more than a silhouette. They must have cut through the backyards and smaller streets. The only indefinable thing about them was the way their hood bunched up at the back, hair in a bun. Leah had left 3 choices then: turn around and head back, turn left and face them, or turn right and see how intent they were on following her. She turned right and didn't look back. Cars passed on the street, keeping her safe. If this were part of the game, if it wasn't, then there wasn't much they could keep her safe. At least she was in a populated place, unlike Ben. She wasn't alone in the dark. She glanced over her shoulder. No one was there. The next corner was a 3-way stop with one road leading to a small neighborhood pool that was closed, and one leading back toward Leah's house. She was a good 5-minute walk from home now. A car turned in front of her. A shadow skirted behind it. There, the figure knelt near a parked car. In their hand was what had to be a water gun. Who was it? Too tall for Aubrey or Rose or Zach. Leah's mind was spinning, and whoever it was fast. They must have been running to keep up with Leah through the backyards, and it meant they were either herding her toward the pool or egging her on into a head-on confrontation. Leah backtracked. She jogged, and by the time she hit the turn she had come from, the figure was there in the distance blocking her path. They wanted her near the pool then. Her phone vibrated and she backtracked yet again. It was Devin. Was Jim home safe and dry? Leah texted him back, glancing behind her after each word. Yes, I'm walking the last few blocks home. Her phone rang. Hello, she asked, and tried to keep the soft thrill of his instant response out of her voice. Do you have no sense of self-preservation? Devin said. Someone spoke over him. Leah could make out the words. Yes, I know, Leah. Where are you? I told you, she said. I'm walking home. I wanted to walk for a minute, so Jim dropped me off at the entrance of the neighborhood. It was only 3 blocks. Good, he sighed. No, wait. What do you mean, was? Leah hesitated at the edge of the small park that was little more than a 4-car lot, drained and covered pool, and little grassy area with concrete tables and benches. At the far edge of the park was a short drop-off shadowed by trees and a tall house. A dirt path encircled the whole area with one little fork leading out of the neighborhood. It was a shortcut to the next housing development. If Leah took it, she would be near Abby's house, and if she carried on over the trail, she would be in the park where Abby died. The other day, there was someone spying on Jim and me at the park, Leah whispered into the phone. Pretty sure it was my assassin, and now today, I saw them when I was nearly home, so I tried to go a different way. They keep trying to cut me off. I figured they want me someplace quieter. The chain-link fence around the pool creaked in the wind, metal rattling against metal, and Leah looked back. Between her and the exit stood the figure. Here they looked taller than they had on the streets the other day with Jim. Maybe it was how close they suddenly were. Maybe it was the way their shoulders didn't slump as they moved. No, as they stalked. You went someplace quieter, didn't you? Devin's voice dropped until the static of their connection nearly drowned it out. Leah, where are you? She picked up her pace and put the pole between her and the assassin. Her phone shook against her ear. Her assassin tucked their empty hands into their hoodie pocket, and Leah pulled out her water gun. Goosebumps prickled across her arms. The Pine Valley pool, she said, but it's fine. I have a water gun. That is not what I'm worried about. A door on Devin's end slammed and Leah jumped. It's a game, Leah. Just let them shoot you. This stress isn't worth whatever it is you want. But it was. Recognition, acceptance, understanding. It would all be hers if she won the game. And she could win it because she understood it. Winning it was something she could achieve. There was nothing else in Lincoln for her. Footsteps crunched over gravel. Her assassin darted around the corner of the pool. Leah ripped her arm up and fired once. Water splattered against her assassin's neck, soaking the front of their hoodie, and they doubled over. Leah sprinted down the path and toward the trees. She skidded to a stop at the edge of the park, far out of range for her assassin to shoot. I got them, she said to Devin before shouting. You're out, whoever you are. Good show. Who do I tell? The council I got you? Her assassin didn't answer. They raised their head and followed. Leah stepped back. A ding rang in her ears, and Devin asked, Why would you do that? Why would I do what? Leah huffed. Her assassin was too little to be Cassie and far faster than Steven. They leapt over one of the benches and headed straight toward her. I'm too busy to be doing anything. Her assassin started sprinting toward her. Leah's hands tightened around the water gun. Hang on, Devin said. A car started. Where are you now? Leah raised her arm again, panic trembling through her, and aimed for the assassin's face. It was rude, but they hadn't stopped. Why hadn't they stopped? You're out. She fired once and missed. Just tell me who you are so I can send the email. Still, they said nothing. Where are you? Devin's voice shook. Leah fired again, and her assassin shrieked and rubbed their eyes. You know the path through Pine Valley that connects to the big walking park in Pleasant Pines? I'll be there. His response was lost in the rattle of her phone as she ran. They didn't stop. Leah took off down the path out of her neighborhood. Her phone smacked her ear with every stride. They were out, but they didn't stop. There was no reason for them to do that. Didn't stop what? Devin asked, voice reverberating with dead giveaway on speakerphone. I shot them, Leah said with a gasp. Her calves burned. She could hear nothing but her heart and Devin's voice over the sounds of her feet slapping against the dirt. They kept coming after me instead of exchanging info with me for the council. Are you kidding me? Devin asked. He was cursing now. Leah had never heard him curse, and the laughter started out of her. She was except for whoever was after her, utterly alone, and this was not part of the game. That is the end of this chapter. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.